After losing Canelo Alvarez, is Oscar De La Hoya in a sunken place? Is he worried about his business? We're going to explore all these things in this video. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. I'll be back. Yeah. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash app. That's $ Boxing Ego and the Patreon family. My God, we working. Yeah. Before I get started, use my link to get ESPN Plus. They have a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries, archive footage, and fights. If you missed Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko, you can catch it there. Pacquiao, Mayweather, things like that. Get ESPN Plus as a standalone app, $5.99 a month. Or if you want more content, get the bundle, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All three for one low price, $12.99. Now, the reason I'm making this video is out of concern. I'm concerned about Oscar De La Hoya and the Golden Boy business. They just lost their biggest star, and that was Canelo Alvarez, obviously. Canelo sued him, Oscar, Golden Boy, and his own, and they worked out a settlement that had that relationship severed. Initially, Canelo wasn't a free agent, and he had, I think it was 10 or 11 fights with DAZN. And he had only served a couple of them before all this stuff. So I do believe that Canelo has some dirt, that his contract wasn't on the up and up, possibly violating the Muhammad Ali Reform Act. And the rest is history. To not pursue and push the issue, they had to release Canelo. Canelo's going back to DAZN, at least for his next fight against Caleb Smith. And that leaves Oscar De La Hoya without his biggest star and cash cow. And the reason why I'm concerned and saying he's in a sunken place possibly is because in a week's time, he's saying the most ludicrous things that we've heard him say, at least in my perspective. And we're going to go through a couple of those. Please, if you're new, subscribe, smash the like button. Subscribe. I drop daily content. I go live. Normally when we're not in a pandemic, I cover fights live too. So I got content, a little bit of everything. So Talk Sport, Michael Benson, Oscar De La Hoya. This is a direct quote from his interview with Sirius XM Radio. Oscar De La Hoya says, quote, Ryan Garcia is going to have the biggest career ever, more than any fighter we've promoted in the past. So that would include his big bro, Canelo Alvarez. He has that it factor. Ryan Garcia is the equivalent of Brad Pitt, Elvis Presley, and Oscar De La Hoya all wrapped into one. So you mean to tell me he waits for Canelo to no longer be with his promotion to make this claim that, first of all, what does Brad Pitt have to do with Ryan Garcia? He's an actor. Like, I don't know. Ryan Garcia, I think maybe he's done a little bit of acting, but from what I've seen, he's no Brad Pitt with the acting chops. You know, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. You know, so I don't even understand that comparison. Tyler Durden, you know, Fight Club. Elvis Presley, a musician. To my knowledge, I haven't heard no albums or mixtapes or anything from Ryan. You ain't nothing but a hound. You know, Jailhouse Rock. I don't even understand the Elvis. Oscar De La Hoya. You know, we've heard that comparison just because he was the Golden Boy. So this sounds really weird. De La Hoya was also hating on PBC recently. We'll just go through some of the what I feel to be odd timed tweets and quotes from De La Hoya. So that's one of them. Comparing Ryan Garcia. Trust me, I understand Ryan Garcia is a star. I don't take anything away from Ryan Garcia. He just did Cold as Balls with Kevin Hart. So he's making moves. I've seen him on World Star and Sports Center, their Instagram, social media feeds. So I do think he's a star, but you know, the names he's throwing at Brad Pitt and Elvis Presley, and you know, a little bit weird to me. Another thing, he keeps saying and flexing that he's going to come out of retirement. Here's a direct quote. He says he wants to come out of retirement, and he's talking about fighting Gennady Golovkin. I made a video about this as well. This seems weird. He's been talking about coming out of retirement for years, and he hasn't done it. And now he's talking about fighting a guy that I think at least DAZN wants to see. They want to see Canelo fight. And Canelo leaves you, and now you talk about taking Canelo's opponent. Weird behavior to me. Very weird. Very weird stuff. Right? Here's the quote. He says, "You know how easy Gennady Ggg Golovkin would be for me." This is a direct quote. He just did it, right? "You know how easy Ggg would be for me. Oh my gosh. It would be a high-profile fight, that's for sure." And that says Oscar De La Hoya on an opponent for a potential comeback. So I don't know what's going on with Oscar, but these are weird comments, you know. Oscar's last fight was against Manny Pacquiao. And this was, for the sake of continuity, you know, he's been saying he'll fight Golovkin and weird stuff for years. And at first I was like, nah, he's just jawsing. Look, I have it all here. That's Oscar De La Hoya. Canelo will fight Ggg when we say so. That's 2018. But he also told TMZ that he would fight him. Right? But let's move on. He last fought. Let's pull it up right here. In December, and we're almost in December, in 2018. So literally like 12 years ago. And it was a loss to Manny Pacquiao. And now he's talking about coming back out of retirement to fight Golovkin. He just said Ryan Garcia is the next Brad Pitt, Elvis Presley, De La Hoya. And now he's saying he'll whoop Golovkin. And that's an easy fight for me. And you ain't fought. And we know you abused your body, because Canelo's biggest fight when he was with you was Floyd Mayweather to this day. And De La Hoya was in rehab. This is not me poking fun. Addiction is a real thing. This is a reality. And then Oscar De La Hoya just tweeted this, right? He says, "I want to wish the best promoter, the man who taught me everything there is to know about the business, a happy Thanksgiving. Bob Arum, see you soon to talk some business." So for all intents and purposes, De La Hoya looks really desperate with this company. Bob Arum and De La Hoya have not always seen eye to eye. Bob Arum was once upon a time De La Hoya's promoter. Then there was the whole Cold War where Richard Schaefer and PBC and De La Hoya worked together, and they didn't work with Bob Arum. Now he's saying, "I want to wish the best promoter in the world. He taught me everything I know, and I'm going to talk to you soon about business." I think De La Hoya is really maybe worried for his company, really worried for his company, because it's too close together, these various comments. So this is just too many comments like this. I'm really feeling like De La Hoya must be under the gun. And at first I was like, nah, he's not going to fight Golovkin. He's doing it for promotion. But you just lost your biggest star in Canelo Alvarez. Maybe there's something more to this. Maybe he owes DAZN a big fight. Because if you look at the calendar that Golden Boys put out, Eddie Hearn on the DAZN platform has clearly put out the bigger events. This December, he's putting on a fight with Caleb Smith along with Canelo and Canelo Promotions. But it's also, you know, getting promoter credit for Matchroom. That's a Matchroom fighter. And Joshua is also fighting Pulev. Dillian White in the fight camp. Dillian White, Povetkin 1 and 2 is coming up. And De La Hoya this whole year hasn't really put out much. Like, let's really unpack this. Let's unpack this. De La Hoya fights for this year. He put on Jaime Munguia, Toriano Johnson, and then it ended funky because of split lip, right? He put Jaime Munguia versus Spike O'Sullivan. You have no Canelo fights in 2020 that you were able to give DAZN. You had no Ryan Garcia fights. These are your biggest stars. Ryan Garcia didn't get to fight this year. You know, he's not fighting until January, they said. So he might owe DAZN or something because he keeps talking about this return, and, you know, we'll see how that all plays out. He's been hating on PBC. Looks like he's trying to join forces with Bob. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. Let me know what you guys think. But I think De La Hoya is really worried about his business. He's trying to play it cool, like, oh, I wish Canelo the best. But in this clip, you know, in this podcast, I'm going to show you a clip of it. He was hating on the PBC, and they were basically all suggesting that Canelo could have second thoughts and could have made the wrong decision. But I don't think that's the case. I think Canelo Alvarez wanted his freedom, and he got that. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
Think about what's his name? The Tank.
Oh yeah,
Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, versus Leo Santa Cruz, right? When I heard Mayweather say, "Man, that fight has the potential to do 2 million homes," okay? Because it was coming from him, and because I'm optimistic, and because I love the sport, and it's like I wanted to believe it. Like I wanted to say to myself, you know what? If it does half, Jesus, it's a home run. But what did it do? About a 120?
It did between
150,000 homes.
I'm being told it did between 125 and 175.
Okay, well, let's go 150.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then be generous.
Yeah.
I mean, the pay-per-view market is not what it was.
No.
It's just not. It's like you said, Mario, there's 70 million people without jobs.
Exactly.
Jesus.
And another thing hurting the business.
It's a tough time to be taking a gamble.
Yeah.
Pirated streams. It is so easy to pick up these streams where you don't have to pay the money.
Too easy.
And that's the other thing. Now, how much did the fact that Canelo is one of these guys that when he fights in Vegas, he's done $10 million gates, $20 million gates, $27 million gates. How big of a factor was that?
It's a huge factor. It's a huge factor. I mean, when is it?
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.